tight ankles. Let's loosen them up. I'm going to give you a little warm up I like to do before I go surfing or anytime I'm squatting or doing any sort of leg exercise. Gets the ankles nice and loose, opens up the hips. And then I'm also going to give you something you can do after you surf or train to help loosen up the muscles. We're going to use the lacrosse ball. We're going to use a little foam roller. Just sort of get in those nasty little knots, start to unglue all the tissues there, loosen everything up. All right, so let's start with the Cossack squats. So for our Cossack squats, all we want to do is get into a little full squat or as close to a full squat as we can get. Since you got tight ankles, you'll probably be off your heels a little bit, but you can just put some of your weight on your hands, that's fine. All we want to do is extend one leg out, keep that heel on the ground, and then just kind of sit on this ankle. And at the beginning, your heels will probably still be up here. That's okay. And all we're going to do is work back and forth, sit on the opposite ankle, and extend the other leg. And this is going to stretch all through the back here and help loosen that ankle right there. And we're just going to hang out for 5 to 10 seconds and move back and forth. And at the beginning, moving back and forth can be kind of tough. So if that's the case, then I suggest just getting in this position and just hanging out in the stretch for a while. And at the beginning, it's completely okay to use your hands to take the weight off of your ankles as you move back and forth. And then as we progress, as our ankles loosen up, we'll be able to keep our heels on the ground and we'll be able to take our hands off and move side to side like so. So like I said, if that's a little bit challenging for you, then go ahead and just hang out in that leg extended position and just kind of sit there and let things kind of like work their way out. And slowly everything will start to loosen up and you'll be able to start moving side to side. And I like to use these Cossack squats anytime I'm doing anything involving legs, such as surfing, such as jiu-jitsu, or anytime I'm training or weightlifting. It's a great way to loosen up the ankles, open up the hips. So I'll go back and forth, say 3 to 5 times, and I'll maybe do 2 sets of those. And I find it really helps to loosen everything up for me. So one thing that happens when people turn their feet out when they squat because they have tight ankles is that the posterior tibialis and the peroneals along your shin get super tight. And so we're going to take the lacrosse ball and start to loosen those guys up. And we can do that by crossing our foot over and just taking the lacrosse ball and sort of working down this fleshy bit right along the shin. And anytime we find a little tricky spot, we're just going to rotate that ankle, move it around, just try to create space. We want to be able to, ideally, we want to be able to move this ball all the way from our knee to our ankle, and it shouldn't hurt. If you're like me, you're going to find some little tricky spots, so don't worry about that. With time. And then we can go on the other side and work those peroneals and just lean in and run that thing along again, find a spot and work it out. And once we clear those, we can go to the foot, and this is huge for surfers because we're gripping the board, trying to balance. So this area under our foot gets really tight. So take the ball and again just really work that will loosen everything up. And finally, we want to clear the back of our cast. You can use the lacrosse ball, but I actually like using the foam roller. And what I like to do is hop on that bad boy and just sort of go back and forth and even go side to side. And again, if I find a spot, I can just stay there until it starts to loosen up. And this doesn't really feel too great, but it's definitely worth doing. You'll feel the changes the next day for sure. While you're doing it, maybe just throw a TV show on or something like that, and just endure, just breathe.